or the bow. Just very irritating stuff, generally.
And we have an absolute stacked field besides our four runners here for Amy, Relkin, Ruink, Yoika's Wife, and Ganon's Gone Wild. There's almost over 50 competitors in this race, so it should be a lot of fun. Looks like we already have a divergence right away.
And we already see one thing that isn't irritating, that is the silvers in Link's house.
Gotta love free silvers, though Yoinker's Wife doesn't have them yet, but imagine they'll be there eventually here. We get blue rupees on the Tier 1 triple. As we're starting to hit, we have 3 of our runners heading up to the escape sequence, and Yoinker's Wife is heading up toward the Lumberjack Ledge. Our first chest here in the escape sequence being a big 20. Small magic decanters from our grabbing crab, so that's a nice little bit of boost for your magic.
Another big 20 from the uncle.
Just making sure he gives you one last bit of allowance.
And the triple bombs on Lumberjack Cage.
Alright, so we won't have to worry about Aghanim for that, and we find just the small key for the back of escape in the Sanctuary. Yoinker's Wife being our first runner into the Lost Woods. Let's see what's inside there.
Well, at least gotten bomb money so far. And we see the crystal up in Hera. We saw a normal crystal over in Eastern, and I missed what was on Desert.
I believe that was also a crystal. A regular one with that.
Triple crystal in Lytle. Let's speak for possibly something good, considering that because we have so many runners today, and a lot of ones might be newer. Seeing 3 crystals in the life world is pretty good for them.
And we see our first bottle right there, right there in the Thieves' Grotto. So we don't have to worry about coming back for Sick Kit as we get. Ooh, that is a huge bomb. That's a huge Tier 2 or Tier 3 tree pull. That's 8 bombs. That's
really
nice.
Nice.
Not going to worry about bombs going into Kakariko Village. Well, the rest of the runners didn't make that tree pull, so they're not going to have access to that one.
The one good thing for Jelkin is that he had a really good, lucky bomb drop from one of those slime dudes.
And he'll be able to farm bombs from the very bottom left-hand house if he decides to do so. Yoinker's Wife comes in with a lot less money and resources than the others, but made it there first. Now, the only thing they missed out on was the 40 rupees in the front side of the escape sequence. And they're going to go ahead and make their first way through the Thieves' Hut. And it looks like Ganon's Gone Wild, choosing a slightly different route through there. So far, just a lot of love coming out of the village so far, as long as a single buck.
You usually find bombs at these locations. Surprised I have not seen any yet, but Ganon's Gone Wild is gonna check Sick Kid and gets rewarded with the other big.
Hey, thanks for showing me the medicine. Here's 20 bucks.
There's some beautiful green goo you have there.
And Ganon's Gone Wild is going ahead and making their bomb purchase as expected. I know
we find the Canos Mordia in Kakariko Well.
And good for Yoinker's Wife. That was also 3 bombs. They can go ahead and crack this open right now. And there's a very early Moon Pearl.
Ooh.
So far, Kakariko Village coming up with a couple of the more key items early on. Definitely feels good there from these runners' standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Just find the Canos Mordia very, very early. Definitely speeds up a few of the different temples.
It definitely one of the more underrated items from the original game. You get it so late in the game, and it has so many uses, but you really don't get to make much use of it, as the game's pretty much over by that point if you're going through a vanilla or NMG standpoint. Yoinker's Wife has to make their second visit into the Thieves' Hut there because they didn't have the bombs the first time. Didn't see what the bottle vendor had. The Relkin has the money, but may have decided to come back for it in a moment. So far, Village coming up.
Probably wanted to make sure he had the bombs first.
It makes sense, and he picked up another 20 rupees, so he should be plenty good on bombs at this point. Coming out of the village, we're gonna have silvers. We're gonna have the Moon Pearl, and the Canis Mario. So we're still going to find some more things really point us in any kind of direction in this seed.
The good thing for Ganon's Gone Wild is that he can, and the other runners as well, is that because he got so much magic thanks to that green potion, they will be able to use that in Mini Moldorm if they just find one more bomb in the Fury Runner.
Oh, absolutely. So I guess the real question is, where are they gonna? Where do they go to next? Do we have some kind of divergence, or do we all kind of head the same way?
One thing that has been kind of the theme when it comes to the daily races this week is that there is something in desert, so heading over there very early could be proved useful.
Yeah, most definitely. Still have to find a few more items where we really get our way inside here. We're gonna go ahead and finally get our first check of the library again on the side of Ganon's Gone Wild, and that's 300 bucks. I don't see us coming back for unless we really need the coin.
They might get a hint about Sora, and then it's just off together at once they get the boot.
Yeah, but those boots could be buried in it. That looks like just bombs on the race game, so good choice just to check it, but Paraime is gonna go ahead and dive it just to get a little bit of a bomb refund.
No, that was the Bloomerang.
Oh, the Bloomerang? Well, just as unuseful.
Well, there's 2 rooms in GT that makes it a bit easier.
So as far as progression goes, not a whole lot, but Paraime will go ahead and pick up their Bloomerang. As we'll get another quick map check. That is the 5-6 in desert.
Yoinkers might decide to do Hyros Castle with that red cane.
The key to Samaria does open up the access to actually clear through the escape sequence, which none of our other runners could when they just immediately went for this. Ganon's Gone Wild is going ahead and going to open up the dam and see what's under the lake, and probably head over to Mini Moldorm afterward. Paraime throwing their Bloomerang around.
And we don't see the saving quit from Yoinker, so he's definitely gonna clear out Hyros Castle while he's here.
Definitely makes sense to just, you got yourself up here, there's no better time to come through, and there's a good chance for some items down below. As Ganon's Gone Wild is going to make our first foray into Mini Moldorm Cave. Also, Relkin has decided to take their cane, and they're going into the escape sequence.
They were really synced going through the front entrance.
And that was kind of a fun interaction there with Ganon's Gone Wild, killing the Moldorm and knocking himself into the pit. Just getting 50 rupees, 3 bombs, 10 arrows, more bombs, and 20 bucks. Mini Moldorm coming up meh. Relkin having going through and making use of those cane straps, and we find them hidden in the escape.
That is a really good find. Just need a few more items and we have access to Hera.
And Ganon's Gone Wild getting bullied around a little bit on his way over to Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, there are some very dangerous enemies on this stretch of land.
The Octorok's doing one heart, the Crab's doing 2. Alright, and our long walk to a cold cave, what will that yield for us today?
I have had my fair share of heart attacks from those crabs, and Ganon's Wild is rewarded with the ether.
Alright, so that's one of our 3 coins found. Still do not know whether we will even need a coin, as there's a possibility for both of those dungeons to be pendants. We have not made our way into the Dark World yet. As we found just the map from the next chest in the escape sequence, Relkin go ahead and taking care of the ball and chain guard. Now we'll see what the next chest is. Good thing is he's got the mirror, so it's a quick and easy out to the rest of the escape sequence, just getting 50 bucks.
There's so many times I've forgotten the mirror when going down this first set here. It's so easy to forget, you just pick it.
It's definitely a great little time save finding it on the way of a deep dive like this. You know, again, it's kind of wild making our first check into the Kakariko Village Elder's Closet.
And it looks like Emma is gonna set up fake flippers.
Now we've got 3 bombs, 20 rupees, and 10 sticks in the closet of the sage. For taking the fake flipper, Moon Pearl in hand we'll be able to check all the locations, almost all the locations here. Alright, and the waterfall is holding on today once he resets the water walking state, or the swim state. Looks like Ganon's Gone Wild is heading into Eastern Palace as we get just a piece of heart and 20 rupees in there. So far, that sequence break not coming up with much. We'll not have the money to take care of King Zora, but we'll just be able to check Zora Ledge.
Yeah, might potentially get some really good information, and that is not what we want to see.
Nope, this does not really point you in any real direction as Relkin is making their way through the dark of the escape sequence. I don't believe Yoinker's wife just, chose to dive the dark escape.
It looks like he is killing the mouses in.
But he's definitely making good use of the Cane of Samaria, using the picking up the block so you can see where it is you are on the screen.
And very beautiful going through the dark rooms.
And they will be rewarded with today 20 rupees, the blue mail, and 300. Not
and
a whole lot.
we receive bombos from the Hermit.
And we have our first sword in Eastern Palace for Ganon's Gone Wild.
Some very interesting item locations so far.
But even then, we're running dry. We're kind of running low on locations, and we haven't really been given access to a whole lot. Ganon's Gone Wild is probably going to show us our next bit of new information here shortly. Next just reveals the compass. We're going deeper.
Oh, it was a red crystal over in desert.
Yeah, so we have both our 5-6 crystals on the light world. Really interesting. We still need to get something to give us access to the Dark World, and there's the hammer in the big chest of Eastern Palace. We're starting to get somewhere. Though the hammer on its own not opening up too much, aside from logical access to Zora, I believe.
If we found the powder, we have received access to Batcave. But then again, compared to before, we still need just that one item to be able to get Dark World access. Either through Aga or through the gauntlets.
Oh, we still have yet to see Agina's cave here. That could be holding on to that Archie, or maybe we're an Aga 1 seed with the pyramid holding on to something. So far, though, we've only found one sword, so we don't have Aga access yet.
As I said before, this week we have seen a lot of good stuff over just in Agina Cave, so it might be yet again another thing over there.
Oh, Yoinker's wife may be the first one to make their way over there, but they're heading to the right side. Probably they have not checked the Eastern Palace area. So right now, a lot of signs are pointing to Aga if we run out of locations, but we'll have to see what Agina's holding on to. The sequence breaks thus far have not yielded really anything.
We might see Welkin decides to just stop up in Zora and farm some money. He will get a bit of money in from the waterfall cave, where we'll be a little bit short, but do you really want to do that investment?
Well, this may be his best opportunity right when he's there, but unfortunately he won't have access to the money farm without the gauntlets there.
So we learned there from Yonker's wife that the green pendant in Chief Town today. I quite actually like that, having a green pendant there. It is a really quick temple, and there are a lot of items that can be trapped there.
As far as I do not prefer a pendant thieves town, mostly because it's one of the first ones you really get access to, and it just feels bad. It's quick and easy access feels bad to make the dive for potentially nothing, and it's a pendant on top of it all. So far, looks like Agina must have the answer here for us, and looks like Ganon's Gone Wild's going to be our first one to make it over there.
Imagine we received a book from there. Now, that would be a little bit fun.
Well, that would throw us into Desert Palace. Or give us a lift upgrade to throw us onto the mountain to make us do more things before we get anywhere.
If we get the lift upgrade, we do get the Dark World access.
Yeah, we do. So, all right, we're walking in and talking to our friend, the Desert Hermit. What has he been holding on to that is probably the key to this seed? At least in the first 16 minutes. And we have the flute.
Not quite Dark World access yet, but it's close enough.
That gives us access to the mountain. So somewhere on the Light World Death Mountain, that's where our access is. The Bombos Medallion coming up in that sequence broken hobo check.
We have actually, with the flute, we have both right side and left side of Death Mountain unlocked, so you can potentially get a lot of items up.
Yeah, flute and mirror in hand, we have access to quite a few things, so let's see what's hanging out, or where on Death Mountain the next key is. It looks like Faraime is making their way toward east to the Eastern Palace area, so they'll find their sword and hammer momentarily. Relkin's still following his sequence break, hoping to find something that'll point him in the right direction. Unfortunately, he's going to stay in logic if he wants to get somewhere. As the swag duck is being serenaded and being loose on Ganon's Gone Wild side, they're heading up to the mountain.
Yeah, there are a lot of items we have access to up there. We can decide to sequence break and free the old man. In that case, we have 3 on the left side of Death Mountain, and we have Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave on the right side we can access. And of course, if you want to bet if Hera is fire locked or not, then you have the items in there as well.
All right, and then we have Ganon's Gone Wild going ahead and taking care of the old man out of sequence, but this is one of the for early dark rooms you learn. Doesn't really give you too much issue. Relkin just kind of pondering where he needs to go next after being disappointed by the lack of anything found in that sequence break, making use of that golden bee he found.
Well, that would be unfortunate if drop the rupee from that crab. That wanna be far up the mountain.
And that
we find a fire rod from Ganon's Gone Wild. He can clear Hera now.
And that's out of sequence. One thing to note, unless the lamp comes up momentarily, that fire rod is hidden behind the lamp. At least in logic goes, but I'd imagine most of our runners at this point will have no problems finding the way. Oh, I see what Relkin is 1 rupee short of King Zora and trying to farm one somewhere.
That is irritating.
1 single rupee between him and being able to check King Zora, so he's gonna have some fun throwing that Kena Samaria block around in some Zoras, hoping to find something.
A unique item is on the tablet, did that hint say.
Well, thanks to the fixes to the logic, that's now possible to have some progression. So we may have to find that book. All right, so
the lamp is on the spectacle rock.
Well, there is our logical access to that fire rod. So we're not going to be digging too deep. If we get our Dark World check, I saw pendants on Skull Woods, and most importantly, on Turtle Rock. So that ice rod may not be necessary this seed.
At the same time, we usually find a lot of items in Turtle Rock, so we might not write it off quite yet.
And Relkin finally gets the single rupee drop off of one of the Zoras. Hopefully the time invested will net him something from the king of all scams.
Yep, time to get scammed.
And he gets the money he would have needed. Oh, that feels bad. A shield is in Ganon's tower. Thanks, game.
That's wonderful to know.
Right,
If you don't find either Magic Cape or the Blue Cane, then that would mean that the Laser Bridge is not in logic.
We'll see what happens here. Ganon's gone wild, making their way up the Tower of Hera to see where the seed is going to point us to next.
Yonkers and Ferme is now on the way to Ag KFS.
So they'll be up the mountain momentarily. Just another... So there's the keep for the basement, and good to know Mimic Cave won't be on our list of locations to check. Because there's just some cash in there, and there's the burrito for Ganon's Gone Wild. It looks like we're setting us up for having to take a coffee break to clear out this dungeon.
Yeah.
Yoinker's wife, flute in hand, is heading over to the village, while Relkin's finally going to concede that they have to go to Eastern Palace, pick up their sword and hammer, and then check at Gina. Meanwhile, Trolldorm is loose on Ganon's Gone Wild side, pulling out the hammer.
Yeah, doing the hammer strats on Moldorm. The hammer does the same damage as Tempered, so you only need 3 hits from the hammer to kill more.
Of course, though he makes quick work of it, you have to fight 2 things, the randomness of Moldorm and that thing they call the hammer hitbox. A heart container on Ganon's Gone Wild side, and at 21 minutes, our first crystal. And as also of note, that is a 5/6 crystal. Alright, so far, Tower of Hera not coming up a whole lot except for our crystal, which does feel good, but good news is we're not taking a coffee break, so he's heading over to the right side of Death Mountain. Hopefully he'll find a lift upgrade somewhere along the way, or something that'll send him in the lift upgrade's direction. But
We're gonna have to imagine something is over here.
See, what I foresee happening is the very last check he makes is for the book. He has to reclimb the mountain and then check the ether tablet. That's where the lift upgrades are hiding.
If you get the book now, he should just head over to ether tablet directly instead of heading over to desert. But I guess I can at the same time also see 2 items over 1 item, which is the amount of items there is over in.
Right, Ferme and Yoinkers both moving through the dark. Spyro Cave just giving us 10 arrows.
That was truly a walk of shame.
Right, and those are 3 old men on the side of Ferme and Yoinker's wife, so they're gonna have their fire rods. And then walk up the mountain to see, oh, I wouldn't have had to do that in the dark if I went up first. Not that they care about dark rooms. And here we've got a Paradox Cave on Ganon's Gone Wild side. What are we holding on to next? 3 bombs and 10 arrows. A few more checks to make.
Yeah, 4 more chests up here. So the most irritating thing to find right now would be either the cape or a sword, because that means we're gonna have to do ag.
And there's a bottle, a piece of heart, 2 more chests.
Ooh, this is going down to the wire.
Anticipation, kill me, another bottle, and lift upgrades. That's Dark World access for Ganon's Gone Wild. Rest in peace, Saga. We'll never know you.
From doing a bit of frustration spin there because of that.
And Ferme is heading over to the Tower of Hera. Ganon's Gone Wild's gonna go ahead and check the back of escape they were not able to do earlier. No better time for them.
Well, he has the mirror. He could have done this portion at the same time as he did the North High. but I can understand the why he wants to do it now. Get one of
And he's
these locations off.
Yep, and he's taking his key that he found and his lamp and taking care of that the darkroom chest while he's here. Once, of course, he chases down the first real boss of this game, the Key Rat.
So Desert Ledge is absolutely useless.
And he got juked.
But yeah, Yelkin finally getting his flute.
Alright. Ganon's got while moving backwards. We'll get that darkroom chest, a piece of heart. He's out and probably heading into the dark world, I'd imagine through the village of Outcast.
No, he's going Hype Cave.
Aha! So, after having
To be hyped or not hyped? That is the question.
I know, as much as the opening of the seed led us to absolute last location for Dark World access, I'd imagine we're probably looking at a tripe cave, but we will find out momentarily. Time to open up the cave, which was at one point named Hype. We'll see if it keeps its name today. First check being 3 bombs. 20 rupees. 20 rupees. The Master Sword. And the boots!
What are those?
I'll give that a solid 7. I mean, boots and Master Sword definitely feels good.
That actually makes the North Hyrule route very promising, considering that they can do a lot of stuff up there with the use of that.
Right, go ahead, he's gonna make his way and check out what's going on with our pal Stumpy. Three blueberries for the trouble. Farame has made their work of the Tower of Hera. Yoinker's wife heading up the tower right now. Relkin just arrived on the mountain, getting rewarded with their rod. And they're going to head on up toward the Tower of Hera as Farame gets the news that the last place they check is going to have what they need.
Hey, we found the boomerang in K45.
Ah, the red meringue. The better one.
The more frame dropping one.
The biggest crutch I used because I was terrible at this as a kid. Alright, and we'll have between 1 and 30 strikes to the earth on Ganon's Gone Wild side. What is Alec Baldwin hiding in his grove today? We dig and dig and dig.
A very beautiful shape he made that.
And 23 digs just for a piece of heart. Unfortunate, Yoinker's wife has made their quick work of the Moldorm, and they'll be making their way through the rest of the mountain. Frymaze in Paradox Cave and just about to find their myths.
And we see Ganon's Gone Wild deciding to use that mirror to get up to Kakariko faster. Gonna be interesting to see if he decides to dip into Skull just to see if he can find anything good up there, or if he's gonna go see Sonic.
Well, it's an interesting decision because it is a pendant, but a lot of runners do kind of think of the checks of that cave or of Skullwoods just kind of being an overworld. And there's only 2 items inside, but if that's one of those 2 items is something you need, you don't go for it.
Well, both of them are pendants today.
And both Thieves Town and Skullwoods coming up pendants. As far as early easy checks, feels bad as Relkin gets dead rocked. And Farime is heading toward Hype Cave. They're gonna have boots.
Can we just whisk away the dead rocks?
First check of Skull Woods nets us a pendant. They're going to mirror back. Faramay walking in, and they're about to go fast. Yoinker's wife heading over to the side of death. Heading over to Paradox Cave now. They'll have their Dark World access in just a moment as Relkin is on their way up to the Tower of Hera.
Here we might see one of the things you can use Kingdoms of Maya for that you really couldn't do in the... It makes that room so much simpler.
Doesn't it just feel cathartic? It's like, you know what? Screw the Gibdos. I'm just going to use this cane and walk away.
He did find a small key over there. Looks like he's actually gonna finish off the temple while he's...
Well, with the fire rod in hand, they do have access to the back of Skullwoods. You know, given that early fire rod, it's not the worst idea to go ahead and check this because it's pointing you in that direction really early in this seed. And that fire rod is definitely in sequence after finding the lamp just chilling out there on Spectacle Rock Ledge.
Imagine if they wouldn't then rescue the old man there and just play it according to the logic. Who knows how long it would take before they would rescue that old man.
I mean, all they have to do is climb the mountain and go, oh wait, there's the lamp, maybe I should go back down. But runners at this level, and that's one of the first, pretty much one of the earliest dark rooms you learn as you get to playing this randomizer. It's, the enemies stay out of your way. As Relkin is going ahead and hammering out their differences with Moldorm, almost getting pushed over there. Alright, and that's the end of Moldorm on the Relkin side.
A very nice full magic refill for Ganon's Gone Wild. Have to hurry here before it closes.
The torch resets on him yet again. Down go the vines, and with the key in hand, they don't have to worry about killing the Gibdo in this room. So coming into the Moth fight, 6 hearts and a full magic meter. That'll feel pretty good, even with the Master Sword. See how this Moth fight goes. Opening up with a Master Sword spin there. Be very careful not to drain any of those fire rod shots into the spike as I curse him there. And down goes the Moth. And is rewarded with the map and the red pendant.
You're gonna see Faramay heading down into the Willows of Outcast. Decides to not seek Skullwoods. And he finds this Wagnet in the chest game.
And we do have access to capture fairies on this normal mode seed. Meanwhile, Yoinker's wife is clearing through the dark part of Escape. And Relkin finally gonna get their lift upgrades momentarily in the Paradox Cave. Alright, Gan's Gone Wild. Probably gonna check the big chest next. They haven't already done so.
I don't think Ganon's Gone Wild even checked this part of Skywoods yet. He just checked the first chest in the main area and then headed back to the back of. And there we have Titansmiths.
Well, definitely feels good to make that check into Skullwoods because those lift upgrades feeling good. And the last item is in the big chest.
I was thinking Skullwoods was a little bit dry. Definitely needed that.
Just the last check he decided to make, though. Probably one of the earlier checks he could have made. If he had started on the front side, he could have saved time. Because he would have found the 2 items before he got to even thought of going back to the Moth. I was asking in chat, was anything in Skullwoods? Absolutely, the Titansmiths.
And Ganon's Gone Wild is not even gonna check the big chest.
And there may have been another item that I missed along the way.
Yeah.
And we have Faramay making their way through Skullwoods. Unfortunately, I missed those first 4. Not seeing anything of import lit up on the tracker, though.
We are gonna see the check here from Ganon's Gone Wild for Bumper Cave, and it's only a piece of heart, but he's gonna continue up and checking what's on the Lumberjack. There was a big possibility it could have been something there with how long it took to actually get Dark World access.
No, definitely.
So that hint read cast and arrows in west wing of swamp. So that's really good information for Ram.
That was a good choice, and I've seen about, I don't know, maybe 75-25% of our runners just deciding whether or not this hint tile is worth their time. I noticed in the last race that I called that it cost one runner a bit of time and having to go through West Side Swamp when they didn't make that. They decided to skip that hint tile. So we find the map there for Faraime. Ganon's Gone Wild, making our first checks of the Boots Lock locations on the north side of the Light World, finding just a piece of heart in the Bonk Rocks.
And we see Yonker's wife doing that dip into pod. That is interesting. And he's gonna have Yelkin joining him.
I didn't. It looked like Relkin went over by the pyramid. I didn't see what was up there, but it must not have been anything of note. He's not seeing anything new on our tracker here. Ganon's Gone Wild is going to make their check of the Graveyard Ledge. Finding just a heart container, chooses not, despite having spent the time, decides not to grab it. Feeling good on the hearts.
There is that small key for Ram in Chief Town.
Well, there's...
So he's gonna have to head over to that big chest.
At least it happens here.
And just a hot container over in King's 2.
And it's just the compass out of that big chest, so... Blind's holding on to our last item there in Thieves Town. And so far, Thieves Town just hasn't done anything.
Ooh, we gotta get a Meyer sec.
Ganon's Gone Wild fluting over to the Meyer area with they are the only ones with access to this at this point.
Ether.
Nice, we already have access, but it's deciding, you know what? I have access. I can clear this right now. With the boots, I can bonk over. It's time to go in and we're gonna clear Meyer out real early.
Yoinkers just found an incredible hint there in pod, and that was that there is a unique item in pod.
Well, they're already there, and they're making use of the potion glitch, and that's the flippers on blind.
Ooh.
That's 2 pendant dungeons with big progression items.
Well, Yoinker's wife was far to the left when trying to activate that potion glitch. He has one more. He's gonna have. You want to be around the middle when you're activating that. But don't pick up that heart now, Yoinkers.
No, you can't.
Go back to the early room and take some damage from some anti-fairy.
It's unfortunate that potion glitch. Well, you can't drink a potion unless you have damage taken. And Relkin's going to go ahead and walk their mimics off the screen as Yoinker's wife unfortunately did not quite get it. They're out of potions, so they're out of the Bowlock side of pod.
So basically, for the ones who doesn't understand that, when you're because they're between 2 screens there when I walk in that corridor, you upset the camera when you are drinking that potion. So you can manipulate the camera so that it stays centered on you like it does in the corridor, and if you then move all of the enemies off screen, the game think, they're dead, I might as well open the door for you.
Alright, and we're up on Fraime's side. You've woken me up from my slumber today, I curse you with. The red mail, be safe.
And that is not supposed to be in his hands right now. That is sequence breaked.
However, not required for progression. Ganon's Gone Wild, making their way through Meyer. Nothing coming up quite yet. Looks like they've found the Cane of Burna.
And that is the big key as well. Ganon's Gone Wild is gonna wait a bit before he heads to the back, to the other Firelock section in Meyer.
Interesting decision on their end, but they still have a few more checks before then.
And once again, why that fake powder works is that you are activating an item that uses magic. If you then swap over and hold the mushroom, normally you use mushroom for the witches and you get powder. Because mushroom and powder is on the same slot in the memory, in the inventory, then the game thinks you are using powder.
Did you know that it is possible to fake real powder?
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. It's just it's a thing you can do. Sometimes there's a case of coulda more than shoulda. It looks like our unique item in pod was the Quake Medallion found on Relkin's side. So far that unfortunate potion glitch failure not coming up to hurt Yoinker's wife because there really wasn't anything in that Bollock side. Meyer coming up dry thus far, though Ganon's Gone Wild is heading back to Vitreous.
We see Relkin running out from the pod area, so he might decide to head up to Catfish.
Looks like Yoinker's wife is heading in that same direction. I mean, no better time to check Catfish, though it seems like it's a long, plodding walk. With the boots in hand, though, it doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah, it's a bit more bearable then. We are gonna get some magic shenanigans from Ganon's Gone Wild here down in the basement of Meyer.
It looks like we have some spooky actions on Ganon's Gone Wild side. And Faraime heading over toward the Zora area, or the Catfish now. They're gonna go ahead and what are they doing? Oh, they're gonna go ahead and turn in the mushroom after already having fake powdered. Gonna use the mirror portal in order to transition, but intentionally bonking there. Good use of game mechanics. As we get half magic on the Pyramid of Power.
That is really nice.
And he drinks his green potion and takes a refill. Meanwhile, on Ganon's Gone Wild side, it's time for a Master Sword Bolus Vitreous fight.
That is not fun to do.
And they've got blue mail and now only 3 hearts remaining. So I do believe they have a red potion.
Yeah, I believe that too. However, it's still very dangerous because those lightning bolts that Victus throws out is pure RNG.
And we have just a piece of heart on the Catfish. So far, the east side of the Dark World coming up fairly meh. Relkin unfortunately misses their ride with the Swag Duck.
Well, do you want to take damage and miss the duck, or do you just want to miss the duck? That was the option he had there.
Alright, Ganon's Gone Wild setting up to hammer out their differences with Vitreous.
The pure swordless strat for second phase. Kinda.
He lost control of the eyeball, so he's going for the sword swings. So they're a little bit easier to hit from the upward direction, and down goes Vitreous on Ganon's Gone Wild side.
And they have a second item in Meyer, so good choice not to head over to that other part of Meyer.
And a shout out to Exploding Cats with a tier 1 sub. Thank you for supporting Speed Gaming. You help keep the lights on. Faraime heading into the Dark World by the Palace Darkness.
Yeah, that 5 months resub for Explosive Cat, that's really nice.
Those asking, we had just a piece of heart on Vitreous, so Misery Meyer having just the crystal and not much else. 10 sticks on the desert ledge. Ganon's Gone Wild is going to go ahead and pick up the second half of the 5-6 crystal puzzle here in the Desert Palace.
A very early 5-6 crystal, so there might be something in for Pyramid Fairy. And it's not bootlocked today, that's really nice. So a piece of heart in Gary's lunchbox as well, so that's really nice information.
And time saved is time earned. I guess the real question is, if you're looking at all these runners, the other 3 runners side, Ganon's, Relkin, and Yoinkers, how long will it take them to make that dip onto blind to pick up the flippers? Ganon's Gone Wild is going ahead and making I guess, a wise routing decision of just focusing on the completable crystal dungeons now, which definitely seems like a good idea on most part. Finding just the small key in the big chest, so they've got to walk all the way to the other side before they can complete this dungeon.
Good thing we have the mirror then.
And with and having entered from that side and the mirror straight to where they need to go, Relkin is taking down the moth right now. So they also took the path that Ganon's Gone Wild chose by taking the backside before the front side.
You're gonna see Yoinker's wife also heading over there, and really close for Relkin there.
Really tight and dangerous fight by Relkin, but well done having completed. Ganon's Gone Wild is heading in toward the Land Molus. Faraime is now in the Palace of Darkness, and finding out there's not all that unique item hint he just found is kind of disappointing, as that's only the Bombos, or the Quake Medallion, which we don't even know if we need. So right now, if we're going to go ahead and take inventory of what we've found so far, I mean, we're just a bow and a hookshot away from potential go mode. Here we are 46 minutes in, and this could be a relatively quick seed depending on where they're hitting. There is that possibility of us never even having to set foot in the Turtle Rock. Though the first two, the Pendant Dungeons of Skull Woods and Thieves Town, both holding on to important items. Perhaps they will follow suit and also hold an item of import. Misses that first Fire Rod shot, but won't be able to one-cycle these Landmo now.
I'm gonna do spin strats instead.
Right,
here you go, the third crystal for in there's ice.
Well, we don't necessarily need it, but that's an item I don't think you really want to see right now.
And a nice hammer jump from Faraime. That was really quickly set up.
So now, if you're in Ganon's Gone Wild shoes, the seed has already given us one huge item in a pendant dungeon, and now it's just given us access to clear the last of the pendant dungeons through the ice rod. I'm feeling kind of frustrated, though he doesn't have the information that we do of the flippers hiding on Blind the Thief.
Yeah, both pendants so far has given us items. There's a nice possibility also that there is something in Turtle Rock, because there are 6 items hidden in.
And we haven't had access to the book yet, so we do not know what's hanging out on Chat's best friend, the pedestal.
And we are still wondering what that unique item on one of the tablets is.
I have not yet seen the single arrow.
And we've not seen 10 bombs either.
And we have not seen the magic powder.
There's a lot of stuff we have not seen. A lot of them are fetched quest items.
Fetch on Fest. So we have the chest game on Ganon's Gone Wild side. Faraime is heading back into the Dark World via the swamp portal, having cleared through Pod and not found anything of note.
Gan is gonna enter Thieves Town in just a minute. He just want to check out these last locations in Wheels of Outcast before heading over there.
It looks like Faraime is going to go ahead and take care of the Pyramid Ledge and the Catfish. Disappointment only hiding within.
Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't call Half Magic disappointment.
Well, if you're looking for progression into Endless Seed, it's not going to give you too much, but it is going to make things a little bit easier. Ganon's Gone Wild is making their dip through the pendant Thieves Town. Will be rewarded with their flippers if they follow this to the end, which I'd imagine they will, as they don't have any access to really anything else at this juncture.
Frame not deciding to not head up to Catfish has only been up there, so we might see a Skull Woods trip now for Frame.
Well, definitely something they're going to need to do if they want to have access to the rest of the Dark World here. And
Ooh, tempered in Mire Shed. Surprised that Ganon's Gone Wild did not pick that up while he was over.
You know, it was an interesting because he headed up toward the Mire Shed and then walked over and decided to clear Misery Mire. I wonder if it possibly slipped their mind after having cleared through Misery Mire.
Might have.
And so Frame heading into Skull Woods. Now there is potential for time save if they go through, just start at the front side, but it looks like they're not going to.
We're gonna see Smiths from Ganon's Gone Wild. It will not be a world tour today, unfortunately.
Yeah, with everything they need right away. And Frame is going to start with the front side. If they follow this chain thoroughly, they could skip fighting the Moth altogether, which could be the time save over both Relkin and Ganon's Gone Wild. Yoinker's Wife hasn't been up there quite yet. Oh, actually, it looks like they have. They have the Titan's Mitts in hand. They're on their way to the Flippers. And we've got Hammer Pegs on Ganon's Gone Wild side. The reward for that is just a piece of art. So Frame has their Titan's Mitts, and they're out of Skull Woods.
Yeah, from what we've seen so far, there's no reason to stay up there. However, if it would be PED required, then that's actually not too bad. That could be the last one you do then. Just mirror over and wow, you're there.
Alright, and Frame with the Titan's Mitts is heading straight for the Mire area. Looks like Ganon's Gone Wild's gonna go ahead and turn in their mushroom now. They'll be rewarded with not a whole lot, unfortunately. Yoinker's Wife having clear is gonna go ahead and grab the Smith, perhaps. Actually, they have not yet done the bottom of Dark World checks. They're gonna take care of that first. That's a mushroom turn-in for Ganon's Gone Wild. And that
we see if MA is gonna enter Mire.
Looks like Ganon's Gone Wild's gonna head maybe toward Ice Palace now. No, they still need to get to this. They didn't finish Thieves Town.
We might see the big red bomb.
Aha! Good thinking.
Yeah, that one was accessible for us really early, so could definitely be something here today.
Well, he needs with this. After he completes his bomb check, unless that's holding on to something of note, that leaves them with just the Palace of Darkness or Thieves Town. Thieves Town is holding on to the Flippers, which could be holding on to something in Ice Palace.
We are not gonna see the risky strats from Ganon's Gone Wild with the big red bomb.
And Relkin makes a pretty easy work of Land Molus there. They're out of Desert Palace. Where do you think they're gonna head to next? Yoinker's Wife is taking
Mire, probably, depending on because of that.
Gonna go ahead and check out Checkerboard Cave. Nothing of note in here. Alright, our big red bomb yields 3 small ones and the magic powder, which we know is just the red mail. So that one fetch quest leads you to another, which will end you up in a little bit more safety, as well as the half magic on top of the pyramid. So Ganon's Gone Wild needs to find their way to blind the thief to pick up the Flippers.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be our progression right now, because that unlocks Ice Palace for.
And Frame also deciding to make their way, just to put that cutscene room for the very last thing to do in Mire, which will save them a bit of time. So taking inventory of where our runners sit now, Ganon's Gone Wild has not checked. While the two runners on our right side have checked through the Palace of Darkness, Ganon's Gone Wild has not been in there yet, as well as Frymay's also been in the pod. Though Ganon's Gone Wild has completed Misery Mire, which you'll see our two top runners are in now. The big thing that Frymay has over everyone else is the flippers, which are on the green pendant Blind the Thief fight.
Yeah, that is quite a big one as well.
And Ganon's Gone Wild being disappointed in the magic powder. I think they're gonna follow the. It looks like Ganon's Gone Wild is gonna follow the crumb of the ice rod into Turtle Rock.
That is quite interesting one. But we have a lot of time seen the bow being up here, so it's a big possibility that that might be what our progression is.
Well, we already know that the first two pendant dungeons we've completed have been holding on to progression. Though Ganon's Gone Wild does not know of the flippers hiding in the back of the very last check in Thieves Town, as Frymay puts on some spooky actions to work for us.
And compared to the other tricks we've seen, that is the one I can't explain.
No, but here's the one little bit of, oh no. We don't know what the pendant of Turtle Rock is.
We have seen all of the medallions, it's just Ganon's Gone Wild might not be able to enter. It's Bombos.
And he needs to get to Thieves Town in order to get the flippers to get to where those are hiding at the hobo. So that's a bit of a time loss, and he really needs to find his way into Thieves Town. He's going to go ahead and check the one spot he can check here in the Hookshot Cave. Unfortunately, he accidentally picked up that pot. But he's going to have to reset the room.
You really wanted that enemy gone.
As Frymay takes care of Vitreous quite easily with his Tempered Sword, and he just gets 3 bombs for this trip up the mountain. All he gets is 3 bombs and a Turtle Rock that he can't enter.
He also has Super Bun Cave left to check.
Alright, so right now the flippers are what's holding us back for progression. Frymay being the only one with flippers on feet at this moment.
So far, this has been quite a very strict scene of where we are gonna go.
Yeah, it has come up pretty linear in the beginning, but there's still a lot of seed left potentially. We're only 2 items away from go mode, but a lot of places it could be hiding. Ganon's Gone Wild is making the way back over. I think they're gonna go check Spike Cave, which they have access to with that Cane of Burna and plenty of bottles in hand. Half magic out there? I mean, this is trivial.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead and make this long walk through the bed of spikes. We'll see what the reward is now. The Cane of Burna was found in Misery Mire. And just 10 arrows.
Womp, 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 womp.
So that mountain dive coming up. Nothing for Ganon's Gone Wild. Just a little bit of time lost. He definitely needs to make his way to Thieves Town. I'd imagine that's got to be the next location, though they can still go into the Palace of Darkness, and that's where they're heading next.
Ooh.
Unfortunately for them, it's not. It's all it's going to end up being as forcing themselves into a double dip of the Palace of Darkness. There is a unique item hint inside. Unfortunately, it's only a hint. It's only the Quake Medallion, which we know is useless.
I really love this strat we see from Relkin doing this dashes through the eyes. That's such a nice strat.
Oh, getting to make use of the Cane of Burna, doing the dashes, doing sword damage, as well as anything on the back end, getting that fighter sword damage through the beam itself. And down goes Vitreous for Relkin.
One thing I would definitely have head over to Safe Town first because of just that green pendant. You can take the time to turn that in after you're done Safe Town if there isn't anything there.
And a fun little bit of things. That was a Sanctuary Heart on Vitreous.
Oh, I missed that.
He took the refill on the way up. Alright, and Farime is heading back to the Land Molus. Relkin going back into the Dark World via the Swamp Portal. Ganon's gone wild, going through Palace of Darkness, only to find disappointment, and Yoinker's wife is heading back to the Land Molus as well. So right now, taking inventory of where our runners need to go, Farime now has the Ice Rod. They have the choice between Pendant... they have the choice between the Ice Palace and the Pendant Turtle Rock. Ganon's going wild while they're going to clear the way through Pod. Not going to find a whole lot. Yoinker's wife, Relkin...
We're going to get a hint here from Relkin, and that's just a joke hint, of course.
So really we're not getting hint. Meanwhile, all three of our runners, Ganon's, Yoinkers, and Relkin, all need to make their way into the Pendant Pod, with the Flippers hiding out on Blind the Thief. And we'll have Yoinker's wife with the first one taking the Tempered Sword strats there as they run out of magic. And there's the Ice Rod for Yoinker's wife, as Relkin is going to go ahead and turn in that big red bomb and
we're going to see a deep into Ice Palace from Farime.
Alright, here we go. Our first bit of new progression on Farime's side. 3 items hiding inside. Still looking for the bow and the hookshot in order to complete the seed. Relkin accidentally activates their thing. We also get a hint. The boots are in Hype Cave. We've all been there, but thanks.
Thank you, game.
Alright, Farime making their way down into the first of the Pengator rooms. It looks like we're gonna see those awesome bomb strats. Almost gets that last Pengator.
One thing I do actually in this room is I saw off one of those bins before I head down there and just spin, because then you get rid of everyone but 2. So that's a really nice one.
There are a lot of different ways to tackle that room of Pengators.
Yeah, he also had the Quake on him, so you can just use that or use Ether to freeze them and then use him.
Or just use this Bomb Post Medallion and burn them all to the ground.
Truly, your fantasy are the limits in that room.
Yoinker's wife getting bullied around by the cannonballs, just fighting their plastic shield. And some bombs and a unique item requires a big red bomb. Fortunately, it wasn't anything.
Well, Farime has not set the big red bomb there, so might be he hinted to head over there to get her powder. Or his powder. I'm looking too much at the sprite.
It's easy to do. Alright, and Farime setting up their bomb jump. Nicely executed bomb jump room. And Relkin's making their way into Thieves' Towns. They're going to follow the right path and hopefully find their flippers. We're looking on Farime's side to see just what we're holding on to in here. That'll send us in some kind of direction. If you're a fan of making the seed go longer, you're hoping to find nothing for progression-wise in here, and we're in for a potential 3 pendant dungeon dip.
Yeah, that would be a fun one.
So far, for just to go back and take some inventory, our pendant dungeons so far have netted the Titan's Mitts in the front side of Skull Woods, and the Green Pendant Thieves Town has netted us the Flippers on blind.
And we do usually actually find a bow in a Turtle Rock, so that might be what that one is resting to.
See where it goes. Frymay making their way deeper into Ice Palace. So far, nothing of note coming up. Ganon's Gone Wild is finally making the way into the back at Thieves Town. Relkin is clearing through the village of outcasts, and that feels bad as Relkin has did the first 4 of Thieves Town and walked out.
And the last hint in Ice Palace is just a yoke.
Unfortunate. And so far, all the checks have come up jokes as well, as there's just been nothing here. Relkin going through the dig game now. They need to go back into Thieves Town, which they were already there. And there's the Book of Mudora hiding in the iced tea room. We got the hint of the unique item being on a tablet earlier. Oh boy.
Ooh, that now comes a gamble. Which one do you head to? Bombos or Eve?
I think at this point you go to Bombos first. You mirror over to Light World, flute to what is it, 7, and just walk over to it. Or flute to 4 to get to the swamp portal.
I think 7 is the dam, and 4 is Link's house.
Yeah. Alright, now we get the big chest check from Frymay. A small key.
And if I counted right, that means that the Ice Palace was Kano's Mario Lock today.
Well, good thing we found that very early in the Kakariko village. And Yoinker's wife is going to be a first runner to make that unfortunate dip on the the final fire-locked portion of Misery Mire, though that will give them access to a hint tile that no one has seen yet. Frymay is going ahead and taking care of Cold Stare now. Half magic and the Tempered Sword. Unfortunately, they've lost control of the puffs, but one of them is already down.
2 of them is down, and we have number 3 down.
Alright, so Ganon's Gone Wild is about to find their flippers. A big 20 on Cold Stare. So
okay, okay, I'm bad at counting.
That is okay. Alright, so Frymay has the book in hand. Now we still haven't, as far as unique items go, we still have not yet seen the single arrow or the magic cape. So that unique item on a tablet hint could still come up with nothing, and we're heading into a pendant.
You really want them to head over there?
I mean, why not? It's just been as obnoxious as this scene has been. Linear.
Okay, I can buy that. So we are basically hoping for a hookshot on Ped then.
Or bow on Ped. Both of these are very much an option.
I see someone is that wants and someone is that wants bow on Trineck.
Alright, so here we go, the first check of the Bombos tablet. Relkin headed back up the mountain to find disappointment. They need to go back to Thieves Town. Alright, we've held our swords to the sky, praying to the Hyrulean gods to find the hookshot on the Bombos tablet! Woo! And we're right next to Swamp Palace, so that's where we're going next.
Frymay has so far had a really good routing throughout this seed.
Alright, so follow me through this chain. We make our way into the dark world by finding our absolute last check being the first mints. We then have to go to the Pendant Skull Woods to get the Titan's mints and finish the Pendant Thieves' Town in order to get access to the flippers, which leads you into Ice Palace to give you the book to get the hook shot off of the tablet. There are many layers to this, and all of them feel really unfortunate through most runners' eyes.
You're saying that does sound quite linear.
It is linear, but it's also a lot of last locationing, so it feels good if you're someone who doesn't like the thought of being randoed. But if you don't if you think your execution is weaker, that may feel kind of rough.
Ooh, Relking, I thought he was gonna go first to Turtle Rock, but it looks like he's gonna do Spike Cave as well.
Well, he needs to get into he needs to find those flippers on blind. He finished the first 4 and walked out. Ganon's Gone Wild is on their way to the Ice Palace.
That's really unfortunate for Relkin. And using a bit of speed to get out of Spike Cave. So Relkin is probably heading over to Turtle Rock then.
Alright, so let's see if the bow turns up in here. It won't be the worst thing. Won't be the worst thing for him, but he still needs to go back to blind, and at this point that's probably last location for him for the flippers. Gamer's Gone Wild deciding, I'm burning these pen gators down. Alright, so far nothing yet in Swamp Palace. We and Faraime know that the left side is nothing, so we don't have to worry about monkeying our way through that. There's a heart container for Faraime. And Yoinker's Mife wakes quick work of Vitreous. They also need to make their way into Thieves' Town. Now, Relkin does have access to open up Turtle Rock, unlike in what Ganon's Gone Wild did when they made their way over here. And Ganon's Gone Wild getting their unique item on the Big Red Bomb hint, though I think they've already followed that chain through.
Yeah, he has powder. He has done that. And that was a shield hint for the first hint in Turtle Rock. I did not see what.
Well, that would be our second shield hint in one game. Interesting.
I think it said something, a shield requires the blank, but I did not see what blank was.
We already know that one's hiding in Ganon's tower.
That was a really early big key for Relkin.
Alright, so we'll be able to clear through all of this, and we'll be able to take down Trinex with the ice route we found on Landmolus. Faraime almost done with Swamp Palace here. It's coming up empty. I mean, we've got just Argus left here now. So imagine that pendant almost gets those poke strats. They're still a really clean, early, easy fight. Now we set up for the final phase of Argus, if it ever decides to take off. It's the longest I've ever seen him sit there.
He just started his throw around there. And we found the big key, so Ramen will have to go in here and just sec the big. That is one evil thing indeed. Yoinker's wife is also gonna head into, at least won't head into Turtle Rock. We'll not be able to do that.
They need to find a little bit of magic on the way up.
And Relkin decided to head out of there after doing the first initial sex in there.
They haven't done Super Bunny Cave yet, it looks like. Meanwhile, Faraime is going to go ahead and follow the breadcrumb of the Big Red Bomb, unfortunately. Oh, and also picking up a Bon refill along the way.
That was a really cool double by there as well.
I have not seen that, actually.
Me neither. Trying to set up the dash.
Today we learned. Right, Yoinker's wife is making the dive at Turtle Rock here.
Ooh, we are getting This run here from Frame is not a... Yes, he got...
Nice save of the bomb there by Farame. Now notice he didn't go back for the big key, so I have a feeling that I didn't count items with him. So there must not have been anything in that big chest. We know that there's just the magic powder, which I believe he's already fake powdered.
Yeah, yeah, he have, because he has red mail.
Alright, so now we're looking through here. On Farame's side, all they have left now is Turtle Rock or Hookshot Cave.
Either way, we are climbing the mountain. Could decide to take Ether tablet while heading over there. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna take out a hook shot, so we'll not see Ether tablet for now.
I think at that point you're going for the item dense because he still can do Super Bunny Cave as well. You're gonna go for the item dense and then make that your last check.
Yeah.
And you just on your way on the make that so that he can also pair in Spike Cave, which he has not been to yet either.
Yeah.
And Relkin decided to head back into Turtle Rock. Yoinker's trying to set up the bonk there. That's not going to do it, unfortunately. Ganon's Gone Wild finally going to take care of their cold stare fight.
Yeah, not actually too far behind for Ame, because after this, Ganon's Gone Wild only have Turtle Rock left to do, really. Oh, and of course Swamp Wall, so I did not look correctly at the tracker.
Well, they have to do Swamp Palace, and they have to follow the book to get their hook shot. They have to do that first, though. Alright, now we're making our way through Hookshot Cave. New checks there, 5 rupees. A single rupee. And the 4th bottle.
And
so
that is
Turtle Rock
as well. Turtle Rock, here we come.
Alright, so here we are, here we have 3 pendant. So this isn't an all dungeon seed, but it's forced us to go to all of them except for Aghanim.
Ooh, dead rock for Ame.
Dead rocks are the worst. Alright, Ganon's Gone Wild making their way down to Swamp Palace and the Bombos tablet, hopefully. Well, they have to go there first. And Farame is going to go ahead and open up the turtle. Have not seen the item yet. We are still looking for the bow.
Yeah, that ever elusive bow.
And right now, it's either on Trinex, it's on Laser Bridge, or it's, on the pedestal.
Or Ether tablet. We have not seen that one yet.
And that just sounds rude after clearing through all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, this has been a rather linear and kind of rude seed.
Okay, Laser Bridge.
Chest number 1, the compass. Laser number 2, the small key that we need. Take it to Trinex. Chest number 3, the bow! For Relkin, unfortunately, he still needs to go back to Thieves Town to pick up that Flippers before he's in go mode, so when Farame makes their way back to Laser Bridge, that'll be go mode for them.
Well, we are in no mode at the moment. So as soon as Farame gets over there, we will be in go mode.
Farame, just a little bit of execution between them and go mode. Yoinker's wife heading back into Skull Woods. They're thinking they're thinking they have to go back to take care of the moth. We know that there's nothing back there.
Oh, Rail can also find the butter over here in Turtle Rock. I didn't miss that.
There's a quick and easy Trinax on Relkin's side. Gonna get 3 bombs for their trouble and their blue pendant. So that's a triple. That's all 3 pendant dungeons required for progression here.
Ah, that was butter.
There's the butter sword. And that'll feel good for Ganon's Gone Wild when they get there, as they did not go into the Mire Shed to pick up Tempered, so that'll give them access to at least Tempered Sword.
Gonna be interesting to see his response when we tell him that that there is a sword in my.
Alright, Relkin is, with their bow in hand, is going to go ahead and take care of the finish of going and taking care of the boss in the Palace of Darkness, as well as completing Eastern Palace. He's hoping that the Flippers are going to turn up there. Unfortunately for him, he was already so close, yet so far, in Thieves Town. And Yoinker's wife is finally heading their way to blind the thief to pick up their Flippers. Frime cracking open the big chest to find another heart container. Pretty healthy seed so far.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of defensive items actually here. We have red may, we have a lot of hearts, we have powder and the net, so we have a lot of defense.
Our final fight doesn't seem too frightening for us now.
And yeah, we also got half magic, so we have full defense.
Frime making their way through the Dark Cane Maze.
Doing a bit of victory lap there as well.
Ganon's Gone Wild, making their way back toward Argus here. There's nothing but the crystal inside here. So they're going to have to make their way up to Turtle Rock, which they tried to visit once, but could not open it because they needed the Flippers to get to the Bombos coin to open it. Because that was the Hobo, which Frime actually sequence broke, but did have access to the Flippers at the time. And
there you have it.
1:22:12.
That is the go mode for Fram.
Excellent. We are on our way. And looks. And knowing that it's go mode, they're out. They're not going to fool around with that final pendant. So all that's left now for Frime is to clear the bosses in Pod and Eastern. Relkin's heading back to take care of the Helmosaur King. And Ganon's Gone Wild has taken care of Argus. That's the big key for them, and their crystal. They gotta head up to Turtle Rock all the way to Laser Bridge, because of course that's where the bow is.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be another place?
So we're taking an inventory of where our runners sit right now. Frime is in go mode. Ganon's Gone Wild only now needs to go up to Turtle Rock to pick up their bow to find their go mode. Yoinker's wife is just about to pick up their Flippers in order to give them access to Ice Palace, where the Book of Medora is, to get their hook shot in order to get access to Swamp Palace, and for them to be in to give them access to make their way up, and then eventually have to clear through to Laser Bridge to get the bow. Relkin really needs to go back to Thieves Town and pick up his Flippers so he can grab the book from Ice Palace.
Yeah, we haven't seen the wonderful 3 all dungeons stayed here because of those of Tyrants, Flippers, and the bow, of course. That's just wonderful. Let's say we strategically placed them there just because we wanted to have a long stream, but nope, not according to Farame.
Oh, and I should have given a shout out to EXT Sinvid for giving the Prime sub. Thank you for keeping the lights on here.
Thank you so much.
Alright, so Relkin making their way through Eastern Palace. We know there's nothing here for him. Farame going back to the Helmosaur King in just a moment. Gold sword, half magic, all the hearts you can ask for. That's not going to be too long between them and that. Yoinker's wife just about to start their blind fight and get access to those flippers that they've been looking for so very long.
We have so far seen 3 people who have forfeited from this scene.
A lot of them being technical required, or related to technical issues, as opposed to the seed itself, though it has been rather rude, if you would ask me. Linear, forcing you into pendant dungeons, and that was the Helmosaur King fight. I missed it.
Yeah, I blinked. Can you redo that for me, Farame, please?
Alright, and Yoinker's wife has their green pendant and their flippers, so they're on the way. Ganon's Gone Wild has made another climb up the mountain, and they'll have access to their bow momentarily.
And if I remember correctly, Farame have already been in here because of that last item glove. So this is gonna be a pretty quick ease in here.
Alright, and Yoinker's wife heading in Ice Palace, then they'll be able to find their book to get their hookshot off the tablet. As they get reminded that they found the boots in Hype Cave. Ganon's Gone Wild clearing through Hookshot Cave, nothing here. Farame finishing off Eastern Palace. Nice little bit of key, nice dashing to pick up the key. And Relkin has fake flippered into Ice Palace. They really do not want to go back to Thieves Town. Unfortunately, they need the flippers to finish Swamp.
So we've seen a lot of different strats against that. Those penguins. We have seen all kind of strats here.
And oh, dang it, I missed another boss fight on Farame's side. Those silver arrows. What happened to those Harmos Knights?
But yeah, guys, you said you know it's time for this. It's time to play a little game. Where is that big key? 1 to 22. That is your guesses. If you guess right, you get a shout out. We don't have the bot with us today because it's not a tournament, it's just a daily raid.
Alright,
where do you think it will be, Bungie?
17.
Alright, I'm gonna say number 7.
Yoinker's wife having a little bit of trouble with those Stealthos Knights. And they get their big red bomb hint. Ganon's Gone Wild is into the Chain Chomp room. Relkin setting up their bomb jump.
That is one of the harder bomb jumps in the game, and he gets
another first try bomb jump. Feels good. One of these days I should learn that myself.
Yeah, me too. Those diagonal bomb jumps are the harder ones.
If you want to get good at this randomizer, I would highly suggest it. No, Yoinker's wife is opting against it, but with access to the King of Samaria, not the worst thing ever. They don't have access to the hook shot, so it sends them up for some really not fun routing to make it through this dungeon. Ice Palace is a bit of a routing quagmire. And then if you were to look at the Game Boy Advance version, it gets even worse. All right, those crystals are spinning. Get your last chances to get your guesses in.
As soon as you enter GT, then you can't do any more guesses.
For those asking in chat, they actually changed the way that Ice Palace works in the Game Boy Advanced version. So it makes Kena Samaria not even possible.
So in number 1 we find the big key. Was there actually anyone who were crazy enough to call that? It was... Yeah, we had one. It was Joss SFD. Joss FD. Congratulations, you get a shout out today. And a virtual clap. But I have push to talk, so I can't do that.
And if you go to ALTTPR.com, you also won yourself a lifetime supply of randomizer seeds. Enjoy. So we're setting up a linear seed, and that sets us up for a nice jet Ganon's Tower. Now, Angel, I wanted to ask, have you seen the newest trick that was found for Ganon's Tower?
You mean where you upset the camera in this mimic room?
You're not even upsetting the camera. You clip the Gorilla out.
Yeah, I actually saw that earlier this week on one of the races I was commentating on.
I would love to have seen it in action in a race. Definitely, it helps feel good if you happen to be racing against somebody who hovers like JP or Andy, where you're not seeing a hookshot go mode being between you and losing a race.
But yeah, that was used earlier this week, so you can probably still find it on some highlights. But...
It's definitely just almost 30 years since this game's release, and we're still finding stuff.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
I think the randomizer has gone a long way to do it. And speaking of the players, if you have not already given them a follow, I mean, they're putting themselves out there for some great entertainment on this Mario Day Sunday. Ganon's Gone Wild is making their way through Turtle Rock to find their bow on Laser Bridge. Yoinker's wife now has the book in hand. It is Relkin has completed Ice Palace. They have their book, so they'll have access to the hookshot, but until they make their way back to Thieves Town, there's no finishing the seed for him. He can pick up the hookshot, but he still can't do Ice Palace until he goes back to Thieves Town.
Didn't Relkin finish Eastern while he was over finishing pod?
Think so? So much to keep track of. 4 screens in there. We have Sindoris and Dark Sharna. Thank you so much for tracking.
We also had another tracker at the start of the race. That was Haiki Type that did the tracker at the start, but then had to leave, unfortunately.
Well, thanks to big shout out to all those keeping the lights on here and working hard to give us all of this. To give all of us lots of entertainment here on Speed Gaming.
Ooh, might actually get to see the Ether tablet check here from Relkin.
He really, really, really does not want to go back to Thieves Town. Cannot blame them, but you were already there, my friend.
But yeah, this check was actually locked in. They had your single arrow, but this one was that tablet is locked behind the flipper, so they couldn't been there.
True that. He decided to he fake flippered into there. Interesting to make the check, though. That also amuses me is the fact that means our unique items on a tablet hint is a double hint, as both of our tablets had unique items.
Yeah, time for Geometry Wizard for Ferrame. He has just been speeding through GT.
All right, it's time for our daily required geometry test, folks, and that's 1 on the first cycle.
And a triple.
Oh, that is so good.
Another single.
Fortunately, gets trolled by the blue ball there, but this will be the end of it right now.
I would give that a B+.
Definitely a great fight, and the king of all bacon is turned into a bat and on the loose. We're heading on over to the Ganon fight for Ferrame. Taking inventory of what they have 16 hearts, half magic, the gold sword, red mail. There's really nothing between Ferrame and victory here, aside from just all the falls.
Yeah, add 0 to that. Oh, we're getting... I just hate that text box, because I know the answer is super simple, but I can't remember what it says when he asks you that.
It's just it's a long chain, kind of like the just the logic chain that this seed took. Rather linear, but it was still a chain, and we're already into phase 3 or phase 2, excuse me. And would you, Ganon, can you hold still?
Please, Ganon.
Please.
Ganon knows that.
Fate.
Ganon knows that
Accept
his seed had taken too fast for how the seed had been. So he wants to keep it a little.
All right, and that's the last one. Did you find the arrows in Light World? You bet you did. You left them in our house. Unfortunately, misses the torch glitch, and a couple shots after that. Throws another one in frustration.
Ooh, triple, come on.
A triple.
Gets it!
Alright, folks, get your GGs in chat. A 1x3 bridge is all that separates Ferrame and victory on this Ream stream. They've put themselves to just a master class of routing and execution to get through this linear seed, and I am happy to announce that Ferrame has finished this 50-plus person race in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 38 seconds.
GG indeed. Really good routing from Ferrame. He definitely figured out how the seed wanted to take us.
It's definitely a masterclass on routing and execution, letting nothing stop them on their way. Hopefully we'll get them in there for an interview shortly. In the meantime, Relkin realizes he needs to go take care of Blind. Meanwhile, Ganon's Gone Wildside is taking care of the Eastern Palace portion. Yoinker's wife, with her book in hand, is finally heading over to the Bombos tablet to pick up their hookshot, so they can make their way through Swamp Palace and finish out Ganon's tower eventually. And I can announce that Zodastone has finished in second place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 41 seconds. So this is an absolutely stacked race for this Sunday. Lots of great names out there and just a huge amount of competitors out there. It looks like Ferrame is going to go ahead and decline the interview, but I'd like to give a shout out and congratulations to them for finishing this rather large race of competitors in first place.
Yeah, really good job from him.
Alright, so we can go ahead and turn our focus into the rest of our 3 streamed runners here. Relkin is finally going to find their flippers on Blind the Thief momentarily. Ganon's Gone Wild is climbing up the mountain. They're heading into Ganon's tower momentarily.
I'm gonna think we get some frustrating slashes from Relkin about now. Not even gonna pick up the pendant.
No, he's safe and he found his flippers and he's out of there. He has everything else in hand.
Yeah, go mode for Relkin at 1:38:48.
Yoinker's wife is heading into Swamp Palace. They need to clear through this and then make their way in the unfortunate Turtle Rock dip to find their bow. Gamer's Gone Wild heading on over to the Turtle Rock portal to get them access to Ganon's Tower, which we know is a quick and easy one, is that right side first room is the big key.
Now, there are a few ones who like to go full left side before heading over and seeking that too, says. Let's hope Ganon's Gone Wild is not one of them.
And shout out to Matt7898 finishing in 3rd place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 16 seconds. Alright, the crystals are spinning, the stairs are coming down. Ganon's Gone Wild, go right side and get through this race.
Ganon against Ganon. That's gonna be an amazing fight.
But these ones have gone wild. And Bonta has finished in 4th place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 50 seconds. Alright, and Ganon's Gone Wild is heading right side. The only question for them now is, do they go right or left first? So they're going to go with number 2 for their key. Big shout outs to them as the Couch Cash sleeps again forever. And I see that Bowain has finished in 5th place with a time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 9 seconds. Ganon's Gone Wild making their way up the tower. Relkin, Yoinker's wife, having to go through Swamp Palace. After Relkin finishes that, that's all they have left. Yoinker's wife still needs to get to Turtle Rock to get the bow. For MA's credits roll as Ganon's Gone Wild climbs further up the tower. I guess while we make some, while we just go through things we've already seen, what did you think of this seed, Angel?
I don't like it. It's too linear for me.
I'll definitely agree with that. There's but if you're someone who thinks your execution is where you lack, it feels okay because you know that everyone else pretty much had to go through the same bit. Though if you're someone who thinks your execution is high, you don't like to see a linear seed because maybe there's someone out there in this really, really large field that may just be a little bit ahead of you.
Well, I don't have good executions, but I really like when we have these, when we get to see these gambles. But we didn't really get to see them today, because we would eventually be led to Turtle Rock, so I don't consider that one a gamble when it comes on Relkin.
No. Just what, unfortunately, that the gamble was to do the first 4 of Thieves Town and walk away. That's where Relkin lost their time.
Yeah, but at the same time, not too far behind the Ganon's Gone Wild actually when we're looking at the crystals.
Well, the choice to fake Flipper into Ice Palace saved them a little bit of time, and having decided to make the dive onto Turtle Rock sooner, comes up. It's just a little bit of execution between them. Alright, Relkin has finished off Argus, and they're up to Ganon's Tower now. Speaking of Ganon's Tower, Ganon's Gone Wild is now into the final torch room, or one of the final torch rooms. Choosing to preserve some of their magic despite having half magic. Last torch puzzles are complete. They're going to walk past some Helmosaurs and make their way over.
We need one key from them, though.
Yoinker's Way, having finished Swamp Palace, now needs to make their way up to Turtle Rock. down goes Moldorm for Ganon's Gone Wild. Looks like Yoinker's wife is going to go ahead and follow the breadcrumb of the unique item being on the bomb spot. Unfortunately, it's just the magic powder.
Alright, while we wait for him to get to Geometry Wizard, let's call out a few more. We see Korek coming in at 6th place on 142.58, Ilius 24 on 7th place with 143.41, Nimban on 8th place with 143.45, 4 seconds between them, and Big Dunka on 9th place with 145.06. And we also have another forfeit as well. Not gonna call out who it is though. That kind of looked like a double there for Ganon's Gone Wild. I think they hit a little bit too close to each other.
I admittedly got distracted by an SRL comment. Well, down goes Aghanim for Ganon's Gone Wild, showing him a piece of his mind as he waits to be able to go to the next part of this phase. Ring. Alright, Yoinker's wife walking away from the Pyramid of Power now needs to go to Turtle Rock.
And it's time to get some bacon for Ganon. Will it be from Ganon's Gone Wild or from the original Ganon?
Hot Ganon on Ganon action.
Ganon versus Ganon. Fight!
Though one thing to note, he does not have the butter sword our other competitors do, as he did not go to Mireshed. But he set himself up for a nice meal to make use of the double spins hiding out in the corner here. Fortunately getting bullied around by the bats, but he's got red mail and he's into phase 3. Now he's just to wait for him to someday hold Dill. Good thing to note that, at least for the first attempt at Ganon, that the RNGC just locked between our runners. After that, it's all for your own.
So, Jacob on 10th place with 145.53 and William J. Bradley on 11th place on 146. And we see Gelkin now also in the gauntlet in GT.
Alright, Ganon's Gone Wild, getting at least one arrow there. He actually gets the double early.
That is really hard to get. That is such a small window.
Alright, and
get your
GGs and chats, folks. Just a 1x3 bridge between Ganon's Gone Wild and the end of this seed. They've put on a tough show, and it was just a slog, just having to that one little bit holding it back. But he crosses the finish line at 12th place at 147.15. GGs to Ganon's Gone Wild.
GG.
Alright, we can now say that Pikmin Warrior finished in 13th with 148.19, and Phylian at 14th and 148.20. Belkin takes down Landmo 2. Yoinker's wife is climbing the mountain to find their way to Turtle Rock to get their bow. And we'll have Ganon's Gone Wild in here shortly for an interview. Belkin making their way through finishing the gauntlet. Yoinker's wife finally heading over to Turtle Rock.
First we have Aoife though. We really need that arrow.
Well, it is a unique item, though it's not the one they're looking for.
I did also see that we actually got also the 10 bomb unique item. That one was on almost 9.
So I think that's just about all of our uniques accounted for.
Is the shovel accountable as unique?
The shovel and the cape we did not see.
One unique one we didn't get.
Alright, Relkin bombs open the wall.
Get some free fairies.
And that magic refill. Here comes Landmo 2. Gold sword, pretty trivial. Nice time on the hook shot over. And they're heading over to their geometry fight. We'll see if they manage to pull the triple as well. As Yoinkers finally cracks open the turtle. They'll have to make their way all the way back to Laser Bridge.
A double there for Relkin.
It's a great setup for that double there.
And a
he
triple.
nails the triple after. Well done. Oh, it's
And the single. A+ for Relkin on that geometry class. That was really good.
I'll give him an A- just because he got hit on that first bolt that could have ended the fight a little bit sooner.
Right.
And he's dropping into the big pig. Gold sword in hand. Won't be too long till he's in the till he's in the second phase. Oh, there it is. All right. A few more boring swings through here.
Yes, 6 hit for phase 1 and 2 for the gold sword, so quite fast.
Now we just wait for Ganon to hold still someday. And we both know it's going to take a while. Yoinkers by picking up the big key in Turtle Rock there.
Okay, so we have a 15th place for Cadenza with 151.05, Rodolfo 16th place 151.20, and 3 seconds after is Lin on 17th place with 23 seconds. Very close between those two runners.
We'd also add in Plasma Kappa at 16th at 151.48, and Lin, or no, that's the one I called out. And here we have Relkin gonna cross his bridge just in a moment. And they've got a 19th place finish with an SRL time of 1:52.18, and now we have been joined by Ganon's Gone Wild. GG's to you.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, GG. It's an interesting seed. Nice, full clear.
So, there's one thing I want to say. You could have had the bar.
I could have had the bow.
Butter sword.
Oh, butter sword? Where was it, towards the end of GT or something?
No, that one was in Myers.
Oh.
It was in the Mire shed. You started to walk toward it and then walked into Misery Mire and then just never went back in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Wait, I never did Meyer Shed, you said?
Yeah,
Nope.
you started to walk up toward it and then decided, "No, I'm going to do Misery Mire." And then
and then I
walked
just
around it
forgot to
completely.
go back in. Well, at least nothing actually required was there. That would have been a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, what do you think of the seed?
I thought that it's pretty bad. It's pretty hard to avoid full clearing there. Like, if you don't get trolled by the flippers, you're probably going to get trolled by the bow. Because nobody really wants to be diving pendant TR.
No, no one had everyone had no choice about diving pendant everything, as all 3 pendant dungeons were holding on to key progression items.
Yeah. My favorite kind of seed. All the progression and pendants.
I just can't help but feel a little bit of sarcasm there.
Just a bit.
I'm going through though. It was a really good show of execution on your side.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't make too many huge mistakes. I'm curious where I lost like a lot of time to some of the other runners. I mean, I know I'm losing some time in execution to them, but probably not like 10 minutes worth. I'm guessing they just didn't double dip Thieves Town and maybe went to TR a bit earlier.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's gonna have to be with that. If you take Wolfram, for example, he went directly to Thieves Town and cleared that out.
Definitely, the flippers were what held time behind. Also, you making a second, having to make 2 trips up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that I had the medallion because I was just gonna like go in there and YOLO like whatever, but unfortunately I didn't. That would have actually worked out.
We're gonna get the green pendant turn in here. I have not seen that yet. It's a hoard of rupees.
It is indeed a hoard of rupees. The other, I had a thought, but I unfortunately just lost it. What the other time sink would have been. Though I guess what I was going to point out is you're the only one who did not fake Flipper.
Oh, into Ice Palace?
Or no, into just in general.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah.
Huh.
So everyone else picked up the Bombos medallion on Hobo, which could have saved you the run for, but it would have sent you away from where it was, but you still had to go there eventually anyway.
Yeah, I usually don't fake Flipper unless I have enough money to do Zora, or unless I have the boots and then I could do the walk on water thing. Otherwise, I just feel it's like really slow and doesn't usually pay out that well, but I guess it did this time.
It would have saved you a little bit of time with the way you decided to route things. So we've now been joined in chat by Relkin. GG's to you.
Hey, GG.
So, flippers.
Well, it helped with the way I routed. That I was like, okay, once I find the hook shot, I know exactly where the flippers are, or would be in a certain chain. So, I guess you could say it worked out for me in that way.
It just took you a while to arrive to that point.
Interesting gamble to fake flip into Ice Palace.
I mean, I don't know. I just didn't feel like going back to Thieves Town until I absolutely had to.
I definitely can't blame you there. Alright, so going through the scene overall, I mean, the execution on your part was definitely on point. It seems that Yoinker's wife definitely wants to avoid going to the Pendant Turtle Rock here. Speaking of pendant dungeons, all of them were set up to had items for you there as. So what did you think of that seat overall, Relkin, I should say? Blech. I can't words anymore.
It's not like that's anything new for me, but it's just annoying whenever things you don't want to do or things you have to do. But hey, it's rando for.
But as far as it being rando, the scene really didn't lend itself towards getting randoed. It was extremely linear, I would say. Just forced bottlenecks. It took forever and a day to get to Dark World access because you had to last check it. Pretty much everybody last checked Agina's Cave to get access to the flute, to get up to the mountain. Last item you find on the mountain is the gloves. Then you have to go through then you have to go through all 3 pendant dungeons to clear out everything.
So, I am a bit of a harbinger of bad news here. Yonki's wife have forfeited from the race because he have not found the bow.
Alright, so while I've got both of you in here, I don't know if Gannon or Relkin, anything coming up for you in the near future?
Well, the spoiler tourney is happening now. Need to start studying those seeds that have been released.
It definitely looks. I'm excited for when that tournament gets started in full force next month here on the Speed Gaming Network of channels. Ganon's Gone Wild, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, so what you got coming up?
I'm pretty much. Unfortunately, I don't really know like all these tourney schedules and stuff are. Like, I just kind of grind the weeklies and dailies, but I am working on a side project that's Z3R related, but it's not quite ready. So I'll probably post something on Discord when I'm done.
Oh, I look forward to seeing that, whatever that might be. And we've now been joined in chat by Yoinker's wife, Tough Seed overall. But GG's for fighting through as much as you did.
There might be some mic problem for him.
But, or it sounds like Discord has done something by the sound of it. All right. Well.
Anyway, we have had 29 racers so far who have finished.
It has been a definite entertaining seed and a tough race for all. Right, well, looking forward through, while we seem to be addressing the mic issues, we'll look forward to speedgaming.org/schedule. Right now on Speed Gaming 2, we have the Wind Waker Randomizer Tournament, Spring Tournament going on. Just to start here, the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Glitch Tournament is on Speed Gaming 3 right now. In Speed Gaming 4, in just about 20 minutes, there's the Aria of Sorrow Randomizer, a game I'm not familiar with myself. Later on tonight on Speed Gaming 2 is Kirby's Dream Land at 8 Eastern, and then followed up by at 9 Eastern with the Zelda 1 Randomizer Weekly Race, with the GDQ submission flags being showcased. And stick around here at 8 p.m. The Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Tournament Preview Race will be on tonight.
That's going to be interesting to see.
And looking overhead throughout this coming week here, we've got a lot of the Link to the Past Randomizer Deutsch and Francophone tournaments, as well as some more Wind Waker Randomizer, the Link to the Past and Super Metroid combo on Monday.
Those ones are always interesting to see.
And keep an eye on, and if you're into Randomizer, there will be daily races as usual, as well as coming up, there is a Speed Game. So keep an eye up on the upcoming events on Speed Gaming. We have the Link to the Past Randomizer Spoiler Tournament coming up next month, as well as an Overworld Glitches Tournament, both of which will be a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, we also have a Link to Past Randomizer League. A few of those matches will be streamed here on Speed Gaming, so that is also one thing to look forward to, where we will see a type of team format where it will be teams of 3. So that is something to look forward to.
That's definitely all the Link to the Past Randomizer action is what I'm excited to see. What about you, there, Angel?
Definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, this whole team aspect is generally very, very interesting.
Definitely, if you are a German or a French speaker, those tournaments will be coming on our Speed Gaming networks. Also, keep an eye on, if they're Spanish speaking, Speed Gaming Espanol, as well as for the Portuguese out there, Speed Gaming Portuguese. And keep an eye out, if you have not already done so, give a follow to Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, or 2 through 5, as well as the ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5. Lots of fun speed gaming stuff coming up there. If you want to get yourself involved in Link to the Past Randomizer, ALTTPR.com. Roll up a seat and find a tracker and have some fun. This is accessible for all, and we'd love to have more in this really accepting and great community.
And back to the league. The league is starting on Sunday, so you you still have a little bit of time to be able to submit a team. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. That's happening very, very soon.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and head on out at end of the broadcast night. Thank you all so much for joining us on this commentary race. Keep yourself, keep it locked here on Speed Gaming, though. There's plenty of stuff coming on out tonight. And, well, we will see you later tonight. We'll see you on later on. Good night and good rando.
Bye-bye, guys.